Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm the Game Bastard Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corday.
Austin.
We are continuing with our adventures in Achtung, Cthulhu, the Shadows of Atlantis campaign. It's a 2D20 system RPG from Modiphius. Achtung, Cthulhu is about World War II fighting Nazi Cthulhus and swords.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I figure there's swords somewhere.
Probably.
Not to be confused with the Achtung Baby U2 role-playing game.
We haven't seen a tentacle one. We've been playing this for a while.
I know, we haven't run across any monsters yet.
Yet.
Ominous.
You're about to meet Wayne Brady. I'm kidding. He's a national treasure. Austin, who are you playing in Achtung, Cthulhu?
Yeah, I'm Pierre Walsh, the Canadian rogue.
Alrighty, Corey?
Name's Sarah. Australia is where I call home.
Okay.
Got a dog, I do. Operly.
Who's the real character?
He's psychic and likes God.
I mean, doesn't Oberly like gods as in plural? I mean...
No, he's into Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Well, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Jehovah. I
Yeah.
believe
So
is
the three-headed monster.
King Ghidorah.
I mean, Christianity is the King Ghidorah of
Yeah, it is.
religion.
When Christ rises and becomes the Leviathan.
I mean, Godzilla is just jihading. So somebody write a think piece.
What the fuck? all these different kaiju monsters are
Yeah.
working for different evil organizations.
Rodan's a Mormon.
Cthulhu works for the Nazis. Godzilla works for Jihad.
Gamera straight up QAnon.
Spinning up there, tucking his head. That's about right.
King Kong is a Seventh-day Adventist. Todd, who do you play?
I play Sven. He's a Norwegian rune weaver. When the Black Sun invaded Norway, Sven took it upon himself to murder all of the troops and their leader. He murdered the leader by ripping her heart out and sacrificing it on an altar to Odin.
Just imagine that's how Sven introduces himself at parties.
Yeah.
Well, Sven likes murder. He likes being happy. Murder makes him happy. We call it the Sven diagram.
I hate you so much.
And he worships the Cloverfield monster.
That explains a lot, actually. So the four of you have camped out in an ancient temple to Hathor outside a village in the Egyptian countryside. You have every reason to believe that Nachtwolf and perhaps Black Sun, the two primary Nazi occult groups, don't know where the Lifegiver, the artifact that you're seeking, is. You have reason to believe they're not looking in the right place. They're looking in Amarna the last time you had confirmation of where they were looking.
That's because they worship Jet Jaguar.
Yes, that's right.
His scanners have not picked up the... Are the Nachtwolves going to create a Zord?
Yeah, but it's just a wolf.
A little on the nose.
Yeah. You know you have to gain access to the Duat, the Egyptian underworld, alternate dimension, essentially. It's probably part of the Dreamlands.
Yeah, and the little trippy vision quest that we went on at Blythe Mander's house showed us the doorway to Duat opening, kind of ripping open space and time within the walls of this temple. So that's the only clue we have to go on.
It's pretty much altered states.
Yes, it's very nice. I do that quite often. Sometimes I just close my eyes and time and space come apart and I see demons.
Okay. So, you guys are inside the temple. You've explored it to a basic extent. The sun is going down. What is your plan to access the Duat?
So I imagine our initial fact-finding would kind of be concerned with the temple itself, examining what I assume will be the hieroglyphs on the walls to see if anything would stand out from the normal Egyptian cultural motifs and might suggest something a little more sinister.
Hey, Sven can make an academia check.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can examine the interior inscriptions.
Sven, we both have bizarre insight that we can use
Absolutely.
in cases like this to obtain some info. We both have academia skills. I have one in occultism. I think you do too.
Occultism and history.
But
So-
your skill in academia is higher, so how about I assist?
Sounds good.
And Operly can sniff around for a Stargate.
Yeah. He does find one.
You know what? You joke, but I bet it is reasonable to me that a dog would be able to kind of sense in the same way that like that Yog-Sothoth wizard like just smelled otherworldly. Like I imagine the dog could pick up on something not right.
Right now, Operly is really worried about the goat herders on the other side of the small valley who are roasting some kebabs over an open fire. It's of great concern to him.
Okay.
Yeah. Sven has an academia of 5 and an insight of 10. So we're looking at a target number 15.
And I have an insight of 11 and academia of 3. So I'm going to be trying to beat a 14. And that's a 10.
All right. So if you get at least one success, Todd, then you'll get to count Austin's. So this is difficulty 3.
So I need 2 successes, and my crit range is 5 and below. That's a 4, which is a crit.
Yeah. So
And
that's
then 19, so that's 2 successes.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's a total of 3.
Overnight, you finally stop around 1 to get some sleep. Sven and Pierre are transcribing and deciphering the hieroglyphics inside the temple.
And we've all seen Atlantean artifacts now, so we would recognize, because we had that black stone, we had the shield, so it wouldn't be completely alien even if we couldn't translate it verbatim.
To be fair, it's not completely alien anyway, because we learned in the last chapter that the Atlanteans are human ancestors.
Yeah, and their glyphs are always wet. Pretty easy to find when you think about it, especially in Egypt.
So you don't actually find any Atlantean script or any references to Atlantis. But what you do find is repeated themes about the opening of a door and occult means by which to open this door. And Sven is fairly certain that if he were to gather the right herbs from the surrounding countryside, some of the particularly blood red flowers, he could brew a tincture that would allow you to enter the Duat more easily. Now, this is not a Stargate. This is basically an out-of-body experience. Which is everybody... Are you guys familiar with the Dreamlands from the Cthulhu mythos?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, sure. So, Sven will need to spend probably a day or two gathering ingredients from around the area.
God, I picture him prancing with a basket through the dunes.
He is very excited.
Operly bounding around him in circles.
So, are Sarah and Pierre doing anything significant during the time it takes Sven to accumulate the materials he needs?
Well, I think Operly can help him in this with his sniffing.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Well, I assumed he was. That's why I was saying there's not going to be a roll. It just takes time.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll use insight and observation, and we'll say while Sven is going around gathering supplies and Sarah is tending to the camp, Pierre does kind of a security sweep around the temple to kind of watch out for any oncoming threats or to see if they are being watched themselves.
Why does Sarah have to be the one to tend to the camp? Because woman?
Oh, I thought you said you weren't doing anything.
I guess not. I'll do whatever you tell me, my dick-having overlord. God damn.
You know, Austin, it's not so much what you said, it's how you said it.
It's true.
Okay, so Austin, yeah, you can roll to make a circuit of the grounds.
Okay. That's going to be a total target number of 14 again.
Just difficulty 1.
Okay. That's an 8 and a 4. So 2 successes.
So you can bank momentum. You don't find anything to indicate that there's been anyone in these ruins other than you guys for a while. You know there was a British organized archaeological effort here some months ago, but that was shut down the moment the war started. So Sven and Operly spend the next 2 days gathering the necessary ingredients. Sven
Giggling like a madman, prancing and cavorting.
Yeah.
Operly's into it.
What's it sound like as Sven gathers flowers, Todd?
He's singing like ancient Norwegian folk songs.
My pink friend, you have moved me to tears with your ballad.
Yes, it is a song of my people. Every night while they're out, Sven builds a fire and regales Operly with tales from his childhood and Norwegian folk ballads.
So the first night you guys are there, some of the local shepherds aren't too far away from your fire listening to Sven. The next night they are far away. Word passes quickly around the village. The blonde one, stay away.
Yeah, because Norwegian folk songs are generally about internal organs.
Yeah, but Oprah doesn't speak Norwegian, so to him it's Amy Grant. I mean, it's fantastic. He loves it.
I mean, the local Egyptians don't either, but they just get the vibe.
Do you know any DC talk?
So finally, the concoction is ready. So you know a number of things. One, this will put you into a comatose state that you will be in for 24 hours. It's unlikely you'll be able to be woken up from it.
Well done there, Sven.
Yes, I am very proficient in gathering the herbs and flowers that are needed for an out-of-body experience.
And I helped.
So I guess we need to make sure we're in a safe place with our lifeless bodies.
Sure.
Okay.
That's
And
reasonable.
I would imagine Operly could stand watch, perhaps? Or...
Is Oprah joining us in this? He is psychic. He might be helpful to have.
Oh, that's true.
So-
I think
to you
he came
guys.
on the last trip with us.
Oh, that's a good point. Would he be kind of a mental tether to the real world?
Yeah, we could do something like that to where he's psychically bound, but Oprah stays tethered to us while we're in the spirit realm. Or what is happening?
We need our kick out of the dream inceptions.
Is that something we could do, Kyle?
Yeah. I mean, not all of you have to take the tincture. You
He's
don't-
obviously the most powerful of us.
Sure.
But I just didn't know if like our mental bond could survive in the dream world.
I don't think
How about
that...
this? How about this? How about Sven, Pierre, and Operly take the drugs and Sarah stands watch?
And cooks a nice meal.
God damn, dude.
keeps the camp clean.
Fucked up, man. Your poor goddamn wife.
Maybe washes some of your clothes.
I'm kidding.
Just
Son
stuff
of a
to
bitch.
do, right?
Guess I'll make a baby or something.
They come back, Sarah's pregnant. It's just...
I do like the idea of trying to attempt to have some kind of mental tether to the real world. I'd almost feel better if Sarah went with us, but that's
Yeah.
up to you.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Sarah can battle in the dream world. Oprah might be better at that.
I mean, obviously the wizard needs to go.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, Sarah is a more capable physical combatant. I think she will stay in the physical plane,
Yeah, she's
have
pretty,
a kebab,
she's
and
pretty good.
And stand guard.
Yeah, and let Oprah go into it because his will and insight and everything's better than hers. So
Well, he's a dog.
Let's be honest, it's better than Sven's.
yeah, it's got to be.
All right. So Sven, Pierre, and Operly each drink this deep red liquid that Sven has brewed.
What is the ABV on this?
About 20%.
Solid.
You get a tingling in your fingers and your toes. Begin to become sleepy. Fall into a stupor.
G'day.
And you awaken in the same place, except where you wake up, it is clearly not a ruin. It is the temple as it must have looked 3,000 years ago.
Hold on, we need a sound effect for this transition.
Okay.
There it is.
I love it.
Haven't made it yet, but it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Babylon 5.
Yeah, that's how cool it is. The upper echelon of sci-fi.
You don't see any people around, animals, and the quality of the place is vaguely dreamlike, but the most substantial dream you've ever experienced.
Oh no, I'm in my underwear at school.
But that Operly's voice there was not in Pierre or Sven's head. It was clear, and his lips moved.
And he's on his hind legs and has trousers on.
Turns out in Dreamland, dogs have lips.
That's the most terrifying thing.
It's my new band. Dogs have lips.
So you're
Damn, I don't want to watch The Incredible Journey in Dreamland.
no.
Or Milo and Otis.
So you conducted the ceremony in the inner sanctum of the Temple of Hathor, and you're there now. And again, it is complete structure. There's incense burning on the altar nearby, but no people, no animals.
Hey, you guys, this is the Temple of Hathor. Did you know that when I was a baby, when I was just a wee little Norwegian lad, my father used to call me Hathor for half Thor. Get it?
You search the temple. There's no sign of the sun disk or anything of that nature, or any discoveries of significance. You leave, and the outside terrain is radically different. There's no village. There's actually very little of the surrounding countryside. It's desert in all directions, except to the east, where there is a long stone path leading towards the mountains.
The goat farmer's still there, though. I walk in both worlds. Better eating for the goats.
There's one goat overseeing a bunch of humans on all fours.
The goats eat dream manna.
Yeah, well, Black Phillip allows him to pass between worlds.
As he does, yes.
All right, so this world is kind of pointing us in the direction that we need to go. Is that kind of what you're describing?
That seems to be the case. If you would like to set off in a random direction in the desert, I'm not going to tell you no, but I will tell you that's stupid.
Not to mention the worms. Everyone walk without rhythm. Should be easy for you, Sven.
The three of you advance along the path, and distance is deceptive. You would have thought the mountains were far away, but it seems like only a few moments you're climbing the sides of them up to a broad, sandy plateau. So just ahead of you is a massive gateway with walls that apparently stretch off to infinity on either side. Standing at the center of the gate is a strange, snake-like guardian. It's a boa-like snake with mottled gold and lapis skin, balanced upright on a curve of its great tail, looking at you with clear, serpentine eyes.
Okay, so this one is actually a snake.
Yes, it is a giant snake.
Okay, so this is not one of the lizard men from last time.
No,
Sir Serpent, do you have the power of speech?
I do, man from the north.
Hey, guys, he knows who I am.
That could be either one of us, though.
Welcome, Operly, son of Other Dog.
And a pip-pip to you.
Hey there.
We brought a Canadian.
He smells of maple.
We needed someone to carry things.
Oh, that's not syrup. That's Labatt's Blue.
Operly, why do you wish entry into the Duat?
I don't remember. Let's have some off-podcast talk. We seek a plate. Gray in color it is, but it glows.
He is referring to the Shundisk.
Yes, the Lifegiver.
Yes, it is much like the warm ball.
Which is what dogs call the sun. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, Operly, you may pass.
Oh.
Okay, later, guys.
He just kind of...
And Operly passes into the gate. Sven, do you bring any darkness into the Duat?
I have seen things that mortals should not see. I have glimpsed into the future and the blackest of the black. But I'm trying not to bring that stuff into this. So please let me pass.
Sven's not trying to trauma dump on the giant serpent.
It bows its head. Sven, you may pass.
Yes, thank you.
I think the Canadian's fucked here.
Pierre.
Yeah.
Where is a woman's place?
Why have you been such a dick to Sarah? We see everything, you know. We have free time. No.
Fucking nice, Nike.
While this is happening, Sarah's just kicking Pierre's unconscious body.
Yeah, cunt.
Pierre,
Yeah.
why do you wish to gain the Lifegiver?
Well, because we got to keep it out of the hands of the Nazis. I don't know if you know who they are. I mean, I could stay here and tell you the story. It'd take a while, though.
Whom do they serve?
Well, this fella called Hitler.
This Hitler is not known to me. Is he of the old gods?
Wonder if those words have ever been said. Fella goes by the name of Hitler, he does.
So Pierre gets the impression that the snake is asking by whom do they serve. He means any eldritch entities, Lovecraftian horrors.
Yeah.
Those sorts of things.
I mean, this guy, he's just kind of a dick. I mean, I think he was a failed painter at some point. But these Nazis, the Nachtwolf and the Black Sun, you know, they seek to traffic with all sorts of eldritch abominations like Yog-Sothoth and, you know, Nyarlathotep and lots of other things I've read about in this one occult book I read this one time. I took some notes on it. I could tell you about it, too.
These things are known to us.
Oh, okay.
You may pass, Pierre.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, sir.
Keep your hands off the silver.
Oh, okay.
They also work with Eric Clapton.
And so Pierre passes into the Duat. You journey across a sandy desert again before coming to a second gate and a second wall.
Hey guys, this isn't sand, it's Fun Dip. Everybody get a lick.
So there is another snake guardian, but it sits at a table
It just doffs its cap. Come on by, fellers.
So the table is inlaid with ivory in a grid pattern, 3 rows deep and 10 columns wide. The legs have been carved to look like those of an animal, but none known to you. Sven can make an academia and reason roll, because
Okay.
Sven is the smartest.
Academia 5, reason 8, so we're looking at a target number 13. That's a 6 and an 11.
So you recognize this as a Senate board, the so-called Game of Passing. It is referenced in the Book of the Dead as a talisman to those that enter the underworld.
Oh, yes, we played this with my family on Sunday game night.
So which of your characters has the highest will?
Sven's will is 9.
Pierre's will is 9.
Operly has 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
Operly, would you care to play a game of Senet?
Do you throw the table and I have to bring it back repeatedly? Because I like this game.
No, but I shall explain the rules to you. So I do like how they call out in this book, somehow, without hands, the Guardian places the playing pieces on the board, and I don't think they anticipated that the person the Guardian was playing against would also not have hands to move the pieces. So the Guardian sets out the pieces for Senet, and Operly and the Guardian begin playing against one another. So Corey, you can make a will plus resilience discipline contest against the Guardian to try to beat him in the game.
Okay, Operly's will is 10. His resilience is 1. Is there a difficulty number, or is that unknown?
No,
Is
you
this
just
like
have
an
to-
opposed roll?
It's
or-
an opposed roll. yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use a momentum because we're doing pretty good on that
Start
to
to
get an
say.
extra die.
Get a couple if you want.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll take 2.
Okay.
That puts us down to 3 momentum. So target 11. So got 2 successes, 2 6s. Also got a 16 and a 20. So that's definitely going to be at least one complication there.
Okay, but you got 2 successes.
Correct.
I only got 1.
Okay.
So over a number of hours, Operly and the Guardian play multiple games of Senate, and Operly wins them all. But this is exhausting, so you're going to take a point of stress, and I'm going to take a threat.
Operly, as
Yes.
badass as he is a dog. He's only got 5 total stress. So
Ooh, okay. Sven, this is fun watching. This reminds me of when I used to hang out with my grandpa over in Quebec with a box of T-Hos and just listen to Scan BC while I watched him play checkers with his buddy.
yeah.
You pass,
Classic Canadian story.
you pass through this second gate, and then you pass through 2 more gates, both guarded, but there are no additional challenges. Finally, you reach a 5th gate that does not lead to yet another featureless sandy plateau, but into an oddly decorated low room.
It's guarded by snakes, but they're like those British snakes that don't move, and you want to try to make them laugh and shit.
Yeah. Severed heads of bizarre nightmare creatures hang upside down from the ceiling, and the walls are richly carved and painted with images of the gods and scenes from the books of the dead.
This reminds me of my Uncle Olaf's cabin.
Who went on to Norwegian public television to create a wonderful television show called Captain Olaf.
Yes.
Olaf.
Movie watching for children.
Yes.
So Pierre and Sven recognize this as the Judgment Hall of Osiris. In the center of the hall is a raised stone dais on which rests a large set of balance scales. This is no doubt the scales on which the hearts of the dead are weighed by Mott. To either side of the scales is a large grotesque figure of a monster, the fearsome Amut, the eaters of the dead, the head of a crocodile, the mane and forelimbs of a lion, and the hindquarters of a hippopotamus. But they are still and seemingly sleeping when you enter.
Like standing statuesque.
Yes.
All right, so what does this mean, fellas? Are we going to have to trade something for the disc?
So on one pan of the scales rests a large brown ostrich feather. The other pan is decidedly empty. The door beyond is barred.
Operly's going to use will and observation to smell the feather to see if there's anything he can glean from that.
Everything to Operly in this place has smelled strange and different, and it does not smell like any feather he's smelled.
Pierre is going to use Bizarre Insight to generate 1 threat to obtain info, and he leans in, kind of investigating the dais and the scales, and with the little cultic knowledge that he has gathered, is able to discern something about the challenge before them.
So the set of scales are very large, easily empty enough for a person to get into. And the purpose of the scales is to weigh the applicant's soul to see if they're worthy of passing on.
Oh, I see.
Well, I think Operly's definitely going to pass that.
Yeah,
he's a
my
dog.
first instinct is that a dog is almost automatically worthy.
All dogs go to heaven.
Guys, help! I'm under Nazi attack. Just kidding. Have a great time in the dream well. Over.
Yeah, we never did test out this connection we talked about. Kyle, can Operly sense Sarah up there in the real world?
Yes.
Yeah, we're all tethered. Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know if it wound up working.
okay.
I know we were just kind of operating on a theory before we
Yeah.
descended.
It does work, though there are often long delays before Sarah responds, so you're not certain that time here and time in the real world are perfectly synced.
Ah.
It's like a New York, L.A. interview on CNN in the 80s.
Yep.
Just to go out on a limb and to get things started, Pierre climbs up onto one side of the scale.
You blink out of existence. Canada's erased from history.
He's suddenly covered with gravy and cheese.
So, Austin, let me ask you this question. Does Pierre have anything to hide?
I mean, I don't think he has any secrets from his companions. Obviously, he has operated kind of as a spy for the most part throughout this adventure, but
So he hides everything.
yeah, but not from you guys, like not from his friends. If I had to throw something out there, I would say there's probably still kind of a streak of greed within him as a black market dealer. He is still technically a criminal. He has found a way to use the evil knowledge that he has gained for the good of the world, but I think there's probably still a little something in there.
So, if he got the Lifegiver, would he sell it?
No, he has at least seen the potential to be able to use his cultic knowledge for good.
So, the scales do not move, and one of the monstrous creatures opens his eyes. You may pass.
Ah, cool. Thank you there, buddy.
Openly bounds right up on the scale, lays down, takes a nap, tucks his tail like to his side.
The monstrous creature doesn't even allow it. Just go, dog.
What's up?
And now Sven steps onto the scale.
Is there a creaking sound when Sven gets inside? You're not sure.
It's like that little squeak when Captain America tries to pick up the hammer.
So all that Sven can think about when he sits down into the scale is he good? Todd, is Sven good?
Of course Sven is good. Sven is an open book.
Ain't that the truth?
Sven only murders those who had it coming. Sven is very happy. Sven wants to go to America so he can see American baseball games, because as a child in Norway, we had to murder moose and use their antlers as bats when we wanted to play American baseball.
He's an open book, but that book is book 7 of A Song in Ice and Fire. so we may never see it.
The Eaters of the Dead allow Sven to pass. You find yourselves along the shore of a lake whose inky black waters are smooth as polished glass. At the center is an island upon which stands a temple, not dissimilar to the one from which you entered. Perhaps on a smaller scale, though. Patches of trees line the shore and the island's edges. So anybody with science or survival can make a reason plus science or plus reason plus survival check to identify the trees.
Sven has a survival of 1.
Operly has a survival of 2.
All right.
His reason's 5, though, so if your reason's better, you might want to do it, Todd.
Yes, Sven's reason is 8.
I mean, Operly is a dog, so.
Yeah. So that's going to be a target number 9.
All right.
That's a 17 and a 17.
Oh,
Not so smart now, are you, you pink bastard?
These are trees. They have limbs and leaves and bark.
I call them hard people.
Hey guys, just checking in. Just wanted to let you know, time works a bit differently up here. The Allies have won the war. Come on home, boys.
It's already 1946.
Elvis is on the airways.
So as you move through these trees approaching the temple, any of you may make an insight plus observation test. If you have vision as a focus, that would apply.
I have an insight and observation total of 14.
As does Operly. Can we say his smell and taste is the vision of dog?
No, because it's specifically
Okay.
vision in this case.
Disagree, but whatever.
Sven, insight and observation is a total of 11.
Okay.
Have at it, Canadian.
So target number is 14. Well, that's a 16, but also a 1. So 2 successes.
Across the lake on the far shore, out of the corner of your eye, you see a blue-robed figure watching you.
All right, so what do we think the odds are this guy's going to try to stop us if we get the disc?
I don't know. Do you think he is friend or foe?
I don't know. Didn't Operly smell the stink of Yog-Sothoth or something on him when he was watching him?
He smelled like pee-pee.
Is that all?
Okay, so I think he is bad.
Yeah, I don't think we need the disc falling into his hands.
Sven is also going to use Bizarre Insight. Take a threat, Kyle.
All right.
Is this guy a baddie?
This guy is a blue hat monk. The Chankopa Nagagspa were kidnapped as children and brought to the Hidden Valley, trained in the Veiled Monastery, in the ancient texts and hideous rituals of Yog-Sothoth, choosing to glorify it in a vile parody of the Buddhist Yadams.
Oh, so he's a rescue.
Yeah, they're bad guys. They're allied with Nachtwolf.
So how far away? Granted, it's the dream world.
It's the Dreamlands. You're not. Distance is murky.
Do we see any way to get across this water?
No, but you didn't see any way to get across, and you were here. So
Oh, yes. I remember when I was a child, we used to go to the Nagog Spa for mud baths.
So yeah, we're on the island.
yes,
I feel like we should keep our eyes on the prize and continue looking for the disc until something worse happens.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that if we get our hands on the disc, we don't have to make like a return trip. Maybe we can just zip our way out of this.
I do not want to do these tests again.
Yeah.
So Corey Operly can make an insight plus observation hearing check.
Okay, he doesn't have hearing, but I would argue that smell and taste is the hearing of dogs.
No.
Okay. Insight and observation is 14, so still good for Operly. It's an 8 and 18, so 1 success.
So Operly hears the rumbling before everyone else. It sounds like a train is coming, and he feels the tremor before anyone else. So you can warn your companions, if you wish, that something approaches.
My friends, many rolling stallions attached to each other are coming towards us.
What?
It's a train.
Suddenly, a grotesque, massive, worm-like creature erupts from the ground in front of you.
Shy halloon.
It bars the way forward. Now, you were all warned by Operly, so you're able to brace yourselves, so you're not knocked to the ground.
Stay low to the ground. Have your hooks ready. We will ride this beast.
Quick, run for the temple. For those wondering, it is March 2024, and Dune is on everyone's brain.
A little bit.
So these tendrils of flesh at the top of the worm's head peel back like the petals of a flower,
Oh, it's a trimmer.
and there's a crude human face staring at you, and it screeches.
I was wrong.
Everybody make a will plus resilience test to see if you suffer any mental stress from encountering such a horrible creature.
Oh, it's Leto 2.
All right, that's a total target number of 11.
That's an 11 for Operly as well.
It's a 13 for Sven.
Okay. That's a 4 and an 8 for Pierre.
13 and a 6 for Operly, so 1 success.
A 13 and a 1 for
Nice.
Sven.
All right, so no one suffers any mental stress. You just needed 1 success. So if you got more than 1, you can bank momentum.
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can ask a question about this creature.
All right, quick, everybody, run for the temple. And I'll spend 1 momentum, Kyle, to balance out the threat that you would generate and use Bizarre Insight to know something about this creature.
This is a Pep Apophis, the final gatekeeper.
Oh, well, I'm a dog. It's fine. That's
So-
worked thus far.
So specifically, not an agent of this blue magi on the shore.
No,
but-
he's just protecting for the powers of good, I would imagine.
Yes, this creature was mentioned in the inscriptions in the Temple of Hathor.
Gotcha.
That Pierre and Sven translated.
all right.
And you recall, he must be bound in chains to be successfully restrained for entry into the temple.
Who's got change?
I do not have chains, but if you look in my backpack, you will find a leash. Will that work, Kyle?
It's tiny chain.
So, Corey, if you spend momentum, you will have what you need to deal with a Pep Apophis.
Okay, so we'll spend that momentum to make sure that we've got a chain leash in Operly's backpack.
So, Pierre opens Operly's backpack, and chains are just pouring out of it.
Ah, there, good boy.
I have such wonderful things to show you.
Who wants to go first?
Oberly's busy.
Yeah. Sven will go.
Birthing chains.
So to attempt to ensnare a Pepopophis with a chain, you must make a brawn plus fighting test. If you have melee as a focus, that can apply.
I do not.
Oberly's pretty good at brawn plus fighting.
Yeah. Brawn 7, fighting 2, so that's a target number of 9.
Oberly has 14 in those stats.
So here's what I'm thinking, guys, and this is really fucking stupid, so you don't want to do it.
Okay.
I'm thinking about clipping one of these chain leashes to Oberly's collar and letting him do some running around, hop up on the peptic ulcer, whatever. What is it? Pepopophis.
A Pepopophis.
Using that as an assist for Pierre to try and get it wrapped around him.
Okay. I mean, I did say last episode he might be the Kwisatz Haderach, and that is coming around again.
All right.
Kyle, is it too much to ask for Pierre to be the one to assist here, or do I need to make the major role and Corey is assisting?
Well, I think Oberly is the one in the most danger, so he should be the main one attempting the test.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense to me, as long as that's cool with you,
That's
Kyle.
fine with me.
Okay. So then Pierre is just going to assist with his coordination and fighting to try and lead the chain on as Oberly hops up on the worm creature.
Hey guys, just checking in. We're fighting the North Koreans now. Take her easy.
Sven is reminiscing back to a time in his childhood when he caught a bunch of worms and dissected them on a tray and gave that to his mom for Christmas.
Aw, I love a Norwegian Christmas.
All right, so coordination and fighting is a 14. That's a 9, so 1 success.
Okay, brawn and fighting for Oberly is 14. He's got a focus of get 'em
Oh, yeah, that definitely
in
applies.
fighting. 4 and a 15, so he got 1 success.
All right, so a total of 2.
So one of the chains is lashed over a Pepopophis. Some of him is restrained. He cries out. It lurches out, striking with its mind. Sven remembers cutting up those worms, and in his memory, they all suddenly transform into small Pepopophises and surge toward him, biting his fingers. But what hurts most of all is the memory of his mother saying to Sven's father, Jorg, there's something wrong with the boy.
I know his nipples are so pink. I don't understand.
So I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh, god damn.
Yeah.
So 5 total damage. Todd, do you have any mental defenses? Mental armor? Like courage or...
I have 2 courage.
So the Pierce 2 on its fearsome attack is activated. That is not counted. So you take 5 stress,
Oh, that's an injury.
which is an injury. We'll call haunted by the worm.
I think that's kind of redundant at this point for Sven.
Honestly, this is every waking dream I've ever had.
It's back to you guys. So Todd or Austin can go.
Sven, you want to take a swing at her?
Yes.
So was that physical or mental damage? What was that?
Mental, yeah.
I hate to break it to you guys, we're all mentally linked, and one of the drawbacks of Oberly's psychic abilities, if we're all mentally linked, the rest of us take half the damage in that.
Okay.
Nice.
Which rounds up to 3 in this case, right?
I believe, unless we have courage to... Oberly has 1, he has more if he's with Sarah, but he's not with Sarah.
Yeah.
So I've got a semi-cool character, but it's too much to ask for that he would also have either armor or courage, so I don't have that.
Well, a Pepopophis has piercing on his mental attacks.
So that courage means nothing. Yeah.
Yes. So Austin and Corey take 3.
Whew.
Fuck, Sven, what's up with your mom? we just all see the vision.
He's got his mom's face. So
Okay.
Oberly has 1 stress left.
Okay.
Sven is going to attempt the chain,
All right.
and it's brawn and fighting.
Yep.
All right, that's a target number of 9. If it's cool with y'all, I'm going to use a momentum to get an extra die.
Yeah,
Go for it, because
sure.
I think I'm going to use my turn to try and heal some damage on
Because
Oberly.
the dog is almost dead.
Yeah.
And if that happens, I'm stopping this podcast.
No, that's fair.
It's my computer.
Sure.
I'm taking it home, and I'm not hanging out with you guys anymore.
Sven's brawn and fighting is a target number of 9.
Can Oberly help here by looking at him hurtedly and doing the dog eyebrows at him to where Sven is like, I cannot let the dogs die.
I cannot let Operly down.
I think he already feels that.
Okay.
So there's no need for Operly to roll.
Oh,
Okay.
who's your shad boy? I rolled an 18, a 19, and a 20.
Jesus.
Good job.
That's fine. I'll just die. Nobody loves dogs, I guess.
Todd, do you have any fortune?
Might as
left?
well be a Canadian woman.
Good Lord.
I have 2 fortune remaining. What can I do with this fortune?
I think that lets you just re-roll altogether, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so yeah, I'm going to spend a fortune. Okay, this is better. There's a 6 and a 6 and an 18. So 2 successes.
Another chain falls into place, tightening Pep Apophysis' link to the Dreamlands.
Hey guys, just want to check in again. I'm doing blow with PJ Souls at Studio 54. Meet up when you're done. Bring me dog back.
Austin, it's your turn.
All right, so while Sven is working on throwing another chain around this creature, Pierre sweeps Operly to the side and is going to try and work on him a little bit to heal some damage.
With his magic powers, or just good intentions, or
So this is mental damage that the dog took. You know, it's not physically wounded, so it's not like I need actual medical supplies, but I do pull the dog over and just do a quick session of just some, quick tricks and pats and head pats and ear scratches to try and get his morale up and heal some of that mental damage.
Don't neglect the belly.
So I'm going to use insight and medicine, and I do have a focus in first aid. My medicine's 2, so that'll increase my crit range a little bit. Total target number of 13, and I'm going to spend a momentum to get an extra die here. I got a 9, a 5, and a 14, so 2 successes.
so he doesn't have any mental injuries, but I'll just let you reduce 1 stress per success you got.
Okay.
So top of the round, Operly's turn.
So we're in the dream world. I think Operly psychic powers might make it easier for him to communicate. Oh, he's got lips. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
So he says
It does.
So Operly says to the worm,
Friend Worm, I know we have been enemies in the past due to my digging. But I make this pledge to you. If you let us pass, I will no longer encroach upon your lands. Your children will be safe for a millennia. And every dog I speak to from this day forward will hear of your kindness.
so basically he's making a kind of mental attack, I guess. Not really an attack, but like a plea. And basically Operly positions himself in front of another chain to try to get the worm to come towards him.
Sure.
All right. Pierre will try to assist here as the one setting up the chain to trap the worm.
So what are you using? It sounds like insight and some social skill.
So could we say insight and survival? Survival being a little more like clandestine in this, but he's trying to survive, but using insight to trick him to survive.
Well, so the idea is you're enticing him in, and then presumably like Operly's going to dodge away at the last minute, and the worm will be ensnared, right?
Yeah, could I use athletics then?
Yes.
Okay.
Insight plus athletics.
Okay.
And then I will help with coordination and fighting. That's a target number 14.
Okay.
Okay.
That is a 6, so 1 success.
Okay, insight and athletics is a 13 for Operly.
Alrighty.
It's a 6 and a 17, so 1 success, so total 2 successes.
So this mention of destruction of his children to the furry paws of a dog enrages the worm. He lurches forward right into the waiting trap. So you guys have 3 chains on him now?
Yeah.
But he is close enough to strike at Operly with the jaws of his human mouth.
Oh, no, move, dog.
So for each chain that you've attached to him, it increases the difficulty of his physical skills by 1. So normally would have hit you, but no, he did not get enough, because right now he's got +3 to his attacks. So Operly is inches away from this huge human face, chomping and trying to snap at him. Really probably an eye-opening moment for Operly. Usually it's the opposite.
This is how I feel when I'm at a patio door and a cat is outside.
So Todd or Austin, you guys can take your turn. You just need 2 more chains. With 5 chains, he is restrained.
Okay, Sven will try to chain. Let's see, what is it? Fighting in brawn?
Yup.
All right, target number 9. That's a 16 and a 19. I'm going to spend my last fortune.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, that's a 5 and a 19, so 1 success.
1 success. Okay, so the fourth chain is thrown over Epipophous's wormy, fleshy protuberances.
And Pierre vaults over the worm with the last chain, trying to snatch it down and cinch him into place.
All right.
I'm going to be using coordination and fighting.
Hey guys, hope everything's going great. I'm Reagan's Minister of War now. Well, gotta go. Nancy's blowing the Supreme Court.
Oh, Nancy.
Oh, shit. Target number 14. Oh, what a way to end it. I rolled a 1
Yay.
and a 20.
Oh.
So 2 successes.
You secure Epipophos. He shrieks and is drawn down into the earth. And you also twist an ankle.
Oh, no.
So you take a stress. The doorway into the temple is opened. You can see golden light shining out. We cut to Sarah on the surface. The three, Operly, Sven, and Pierre, have been asleep for about 12 hours at this point. Sarah's making a slow circuit around the temple. It's the middle of the night. In the distance, on the road, she sees 2 trucks approaching. As they get closer, these are clearly military vehicles. They stop, and she hears the unmistakable tones of German, because they're bad guys.
Oh.
We're gonna stop there.
Ah!
What a cliffhanger.
Yes,
Right at the precipice of getting the disc.
yes.
Hopefully.
Ominous. The bad guys have guns too. I don't know if I mentioned that.
God, you're such a good storyteller.
Was
Kyle.
that implied? They've got lots of guns. One of them has a Nebelwerfer. No, they don't. What
the fuck is that?
It's a German artillery base. They don't have that. They don't have that. So, well, thank you for listening to Bastard Quest. We appreciate all our listeners. We appreciate our Patreon members, some of which featured in this episode, most notoriously, Operly the dog.
Yeah.
Based on Tarek Operly, Patreon member. He's probably the most prominent because we made him a dog early on and we didn't know how far that was going to go.
Also, thank you to Norse Foundry. If you need dice, if you're a gamer, if you play role-playing games, or if you just like to throw dice around, go to NorseFoundry.com.
Spread Johnny Dice seed.
Yep.
Sprinkling
If you have a
them
gambling
throughout.
problem,
If you need something to throw at the dogs on your lawn, well, don't do that. That's crazy. But get Norse Foundry dice.
Their dice are artistic, they're beautiful, they're heavy, they're made out of all manner of materials and shapes.
guys, I'm not saying anybody wants me to endorse shit, but I have rolled so much better since I started rolling with Norse Foundry dice.
Do you know 28% of all Norse Foundry dice are almonds?
Yes.
And when you check out, enter promo code CHAM, that's CHAM, to save 10%. That's the Bastard Quest discount.
And another big thanks to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond.
Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right on the banks of the Ohio River.
If you got to pee, go before you get there, because you got to go through a worm and it's a whole thing.
Last time I was there in the bathroom, Nancy Reagan blew me.
So is it known outside of the United States, all the urban legends around Nancy Reagan and blowjobs?
I don't think it's an urban legend.
No, it's
I think Nancy was blowing dudes a lot.
I mean, I think it's probably true, but I don't know that it's been definitively. I don't think she ever admitted in life that it happened. But
I don't know. If you guys know, let us know.
so the story around Nancy Reagan is that she blew a bunch of dudes when she was in Hollywood.
She was friendly.
She liked to give out blowies.
This is not a good discussion to have on an episode where we parodied a bunch of fucking misogyny.
Look, Fluffer Nancy
Granted,
Reagan has
different
nothing to
time.
do with Sarah the Commando.
Look, if her last name wasn't Reagan, I wouldn't be so cruel.
Yeah, we don't talk about Nancy Sinatra.
No, not at all.
It's a gem.
Talented.
Thank you for listening to Bastard Quest. I'm Kyle.
Todd?
Corey.
I'm Austin.
Så det var bra. Det är